Hello everyone, welcome to the Varietal Show. We are back. This is a great day. I'm here with my wonderful, wonderful friend, Sheana Davis. We are having an amazing time just talking about food and wine. Sheana is a very dear friend of mine here based in Sonoma, the town of Sonoma. And Sheana, you and I have known each other for more than 2 decades. Which is
towards 3.
Yeah, we were both mentored by the great Keith Filippello, and he's an amazing chef that was at Moss's in San Francisco and really knew a lot about food, and still does actually. Believe me, we would share food and wine with him any day, anytime. That man has done a lot for us, as has Joanne. If you hear that jingle in the back, it is actually a fabulous dog back there. But Sheana, here I am today. I just wanted to kind of show you off a little bit because, you know, just being a great chef that you are, but also such an expert in cheese. Tell us a little bit about what got you involved and the Epicurean Connection, where we're at. We can see this amazing thing here. This is actually a functional kitchen that she uses right here in Sonoma, and it is actually open to the public on the weekends. And you can come here and meet Sheana, and you can taste these great cheeses and enjoy some great products that she has on a regular basis. But, you know, tell everyone a little bit of just a snippet about what got you, why cheese? Where'd you go? How did this happen?
You know, in Sonoma, our local high school provides mentors.
Yep.
And I was gifted Ig Vella.
Oh, Ig Vella, the great Ig Vella, the cheesemaker.
So when I was 14, I didn't think it was so cool to have Ig Vella as my mentor because my friends got other mentors who took them to like Marine World and the fair, and Ig Vella was all about city council meetings, supervisor meetings, and so hence why I probably contribute to my community because of Ig.
Yep.
But he taught me how to make cheese, but he didn't believe women could make cheese on his cheese plant.
Ah.
So I had to go travel around the country to make cheese with other cheesemakers. He taught me how to make cheese, but there's not been a woman cheesemaker at the Vella Cheese. So on one hand, I disagreed with him, but on the other hand, it made me go travel.
Yep.
So I traveled around the country making cheese in Texas and Vermont and New York and Wisconsin with men and women, and it was fabulous.
Wow.
And that's how I got into the cheese making, and I decided to make my own cheese.
Yeah.
Delis de la Vallée.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. This is it right here, you
right
guys.
Here.
You can see it's a nice kind of soft cheese, but you know, it's got a little thing about the animals and the where the milk comes from. Tell everyone about that.
It's a triple cream cow milk blended with a fresh goat milk, which at that time when that one came out, it was the first mixed milk cheese in the country.
Yeah.
And my inspector didn't know what to do with it, and my USDA didn't know what to do with it because the cow and the goat don't work together. But through all the hurdles, with Ig Vella's help, we were able to get this cheese produced in a certified facility in Berkeley.
Wow.
And I've been there ever since. With our cheesemaker is Lino, and they own Belfiore cheese.
Oh,
You
nice.
see little mozzarella balls?
Yep. Cool.
That's
I
where
love my mozzarella.
Yeah, so we feel lucky that we were able to get into the co-op there, very Berkeley, if you would.
Yep.
It's a co-op.
Yep.
And we've been there 22 years now.
Wow, amazing. You know, well, here, cheers to that, by the way.
Cheers.
So I brought some wines for us to taste, and I
Please do
just felt like we should talk a little bit about the area we're in right now. We're really right on the outskirts of Sonoma, downtown, and this is actually Chappellet. This is the grower collection. Everyone knows Chappellet, Napa Valley, Napa Valley, Napa Valley. Well, yes, but they also have amazing relationships with amazing growers over here, and this is the grower collection. This is actually one called Kalisa. It's a vineyard over in the Petaluma Gap, which is where a lot of the cows and the goats live, is that way, which is due west from here. And I felt like this would be a fun one to bring over for you to taste.
Absolutely.
You know, such great acidity, bright fruit nose, but you know, there's this elegance and this amazing thing going on here.
Hey, Melby.
And my son Rupert is obviously handling the dog, right? You know, dog handler. This is a new calling for him, the dog handler.
Melby's our official greeter here at the warehouse.
Yes, I love it.
Everybody in the warehouse district knows her, so when she escapes, they know where to return her to.
Fantastic.
Try that with the Delis de la Vallée
Okay,
and a little
let's
bit
do
of
it.
Meyer lemon olive oil on top.
Oh, yes. Meyer lemons, another thing. And right now, you know, in this seasonal thing, it's still a little rainy out. Meyer lemons are very, and it's just time to grab them.
I can't get enough Meyer lemon. And it's going to go away soon, but I love the flavor of Meyer lemon. And it accentuates the flavor of this wine specifically. Like it brings out the citrus and highlights the acidity. And my apologies.
Yeah. Orders coming in. Sorry. You know.
We keep the door locked on Sundays even when we're in here.
Yeah.
Because we might just be here for things like this.
So, fabulous. I mean, here we are in wine country. You and I grew up in wine country. You obviously, you started small, you went big, and you went bigger than that. So you consult and you do classes in Dubai, visually, and you've been there.
I have traveled to Dubai twice.
Yep.
And pre-COVID, I was planning on returning, so I stay in touch with my students. I teach at a place called ICCA.
Okay.
It's a cooking school in Dubai. It's like the creme de la creme, if you would.
Yep.
And so it's been an honor to continue teaching with them, being right here in Sonoma. And my students are from all over the globe. They're from Syria, they're from Russia, they're from China.
Amazing.
And you know, my WhatsApp, I'm very hip now on the WhatsApp and all the new tech items because my kids text me all the time, their accomplishments, their graduations.
Yep.
Ben calls them my kittens.
Oh, so sweet.
And I love them. I absolutely love them. Mary Carmen is probably my current favorite because she just graduated from cooking school and got a job.
Yeah, I love, you know, for me being a mentor to a lot of people too, that have come up the ranks and become great sommeliers or even writers, you know, that have followed what I did is a big deal. You know, you and I got to work together for so long, but you know, more recently you've had an amazing little stint there at the French Laundry too, haven't you?
Yes, I consulted with the French Laundry and helped curate cheeses for them, made a cheese for them with Blackberry Farm. It was microphilia, so I harvested the mushrooms from the Mayacamas range, which divides Sonoma and Napa.
Yep.
And after the first fire, 2017, it was the best mushroom year ever.
Wow. See, there's positives, not that many, but
not a lot, but that was one.
That was a good positive. Yep.
So we harvested black trumpets just up off the Trinity grade, and so I harvested them, then we dehydrated them, and then we ground them up, and then I went to Tennessee to Blackberry Farm.
One of the greatest destinations in the world. If you guys ever want to do, you know, those places in your list that you really, you know, just say this could be this could be where I could go someday. Blackberry Farms is the real deal, and you got to really work with them. What a great project.
I lucked out. My friend Chris Osborne, who was the cheesemaker at Capriole Goat Cheese in Indiana, became the head cheesemaker at Blackberry Farm, and he invited me out to make cheese with him. And I was like, oh, please. So we made this microphilia sheep milk cheese that we dusted with the wild mushrooms from both Tennessee Smoky Mountains and the Trinity Ridge. And it was a collaboration cheese. And we sold that all to the French Laundry and also to Stark's Restaurant, of course.
Of course, you gotta love the Starks here in Sonoma County. Speaking of cheese and mushrooms and stuff, here's some Pinot Noir. So this is our great friend Stéphane Vivier, who actually lives here in Sonoma. And Stéphane is the winemaker for a lot of different brands, very well known for the Hyde Vineyard projects that he's done. But this is his Vivier label, and this is a Sonoma Coast appellation on the Pinot. It's 2018, brand new. And what I love about it too, 12.8% alcohol. I mean, we don't have to push it here in Sonoma County. We just got to have great acid and a lot of fruit, which we do have. I think that Stéphane really introduced me to a couple things about the Petaluma Gap appellation, which is where this one is from, Petaluma Gap, which I helped name that appellation. But, you know, he actually had an amazing project that was going on the other side of Sonoma Mountain looking west, which is a good place to find some mushrooms too.
And so, apparently they're looking at adding cheese to their project there.
Wow.
So I've heard.
Look at that. Cha-ching, once again.
I'd be excited.
Indeed. So great nose on this, you know, definitely some red berries and some little kind of that mixture of those wild berries too, that raspberry, black raspberry kind of note, and some nice cherry notes as well, but also that mushroomy kind of nuance there.
I wish we had some microphilia.
Almost like morels, though. I mean, you know, is where it's almost going.
I'm going to go mushrooming tomorrow morning.
Lucky you.
Out in Guerneville. We won't
No,
we
don't.
won't trespass.
Yeah, don't say where you're going to be.
No, I cut myself off on that. No.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that this Vivier is great. This is a really great food lovers kind of wine, and I think it's a great example of what we can do in the Sonoma coast. And you and I have gotten to know that pretty darn well. You know, it's been a great thing being part of the food industry as we have. You know what I do with Gravenstein Grill and what you do here at the Epicurean Connection, but also as a writer and as a cheese expert, as you are. We got to work just last week together, you know, wearing our masks.
Ladies.
Yeah, wearing our masks and everything, and I did a presentation and you did the food, and we had the best time getting back together. And when I said, well, I just got to do a show on you because you're my great pal.
That was our first week back to work.
And let me go back a few minutes here too, because or rewind. How we also met was through punk rock music, and when we were younger, you know, generations ago it seems, we actually were we kind of met through that. And our great friend Adolfo Foranda, who's been on the show before.
We're gonna have to gather.
Yeah, we will do a gathering soon. But what an amazing guy he is, and how we got
Toast.
Toast, the band Toast, believe it or not.
Look it on YouTube.
Yep, indeed.
So you know, I paid for my deposit on my house 24 years ago with all the punk rock shows that I put on.
Wow, look at that.
Like,
there you go.
For real. And I'll never forget, I brought it into the bank in cash.
Wow.
And the banker was like, you can't do this. Because punk rock shows, there was no Venmo, there was no PayPal.
No.
It was a duffel bag of cash. And
yeah, pretty much.
And they accepted me.
Love it.
And I still live in the same house to this day. And that house is like the best karma, because not only did we get to buy it, and we bought the deposit in cash, but the lady that owned it before me said, how much can you pay?
Yeah.
And she meant it.
Yeah.
She didn't mean what she was asking.
Yeah.
So I went to my accountant and came back and told her, and she's like, okay.
That's what it is. Love it.
And that's what she took.
Yeah.
But I hope more people get that in these times.
Me too. And I think we're getting there with 2020, which was very hard on all of us, but people started to understand people a little bit better, I think. Now, that's not to say the nation as a whole, in some ways, understands each other in certain provinces of the nation, but I definitely think that, you know, here in our little community, you know, giving was a very big, important part. Even though we couldn't be there with each other, we have to be distanced from each other, which really sucks, because I'd rather be sitting near her, closer, but that's not the situation right now. And but there's things to celebrate, and one of those things to celebrate is your anniversary just was recent, and I got to go to your wedding with you and the great Ben Sessions. So,
Mr. Ben.
For those of you that do not know the last name Sessions, Ben's dad, Bob Sessions, was the winemaker at Hanzel Winery, one of the great wineries of America.
They open back up next Wednesday.
They open back up next Wednesday, so if you really love Pinot Noir and are phenomenally into Chardonnays, the greatest Chardonnays that America makes, you need to go to Hanzel. There's no doubt it is one of the greatest Chardonnay houses in the world, and it is respected as so. And it's actually Mr. Zellerbach who started the whole project. He was an ambassador over in Europe and really fell in love with Burgundy wines, and that's why he started in the 50s. And this was way ahead of its time. No one knew anything about Pinot or Chardonnay, and he was a jet setter. And it's up on the hill, pretty much directly due north of us right here. Really one of the great places of Sonoma Valley, and actually kind of above it a little bit, just because it's looking down over everything. It's really amazing.
It's an
and I hope you can make it there at some point. But I brought, just to celebrate, you know, our wedding anniversary, Simone and I is coming up fairly soon, in a couple months, in May.
May what?
May 20th. 10th. Oh, sorry, Simone. I was thinking about something else. Sorry!
It's okay.
She's in the background, by the way.
I get Ben's birthday mixed up with our anniversary. He's January 17th.
I know, her birthday's coming up in April. Gosh, I can't. God. Sorry, guys. Mind moment. But I brought a wine that I thought would be kind of fun for us to taste. This is from the Amador County, and
Bob loved Amador.
This is Zinfandel. So I thought this would be a fun one. The kind of the harder cheese pairing would be the Renwood, and this is actually a very interesting story. It was a great winery by itself for a long time, old vine Zinfandel, It was actually purchased by Ron Bauer recently, and you know what, Ron Bauer, everyone knows, oh, Ron Bauer Chardonnay. You know what, they always made good Zinfandel, but it wasn't from Napa, it was always from up in the Sierra foothills. So they already knew what was going on up there, and jingle, jingle. But you know what I love about this is the blueberries on the nose. How did they put blueberries in here? No, they didn't. It's just what it is. Yeah, schnozzleberries. Isn't that beautiful? And so this was sent to me, and this was who did our wedding wines. When I had just done this amazing thing for a headline story for a magazine, and I had to go back up there and take some pictures, is how I kind of fell in love with this one area, this little town of Volcano that is not right there, but is near the area. And because I had done such a good story on it, the owner at the time, Robert Schmerling, said, "I will do all the wedding wines for you because I loved your story so much." And they sent me this new release, and I thought this would be fun to share with you because I was at your wedding. You and I have had such a great relationship, and we love our spouses so much.
Cheers to that. And Bob Sessions would love that. He loved Amador. He always thinks it's the overlooked viticulture area.
It is.
He swore for years and years that it was overlooked and underappreciated.
Absolutely.
So this Valley Ford cheese is from Valley Ford out in West Petaluma. So in your Petaluma, just outside the gap, trailing right on the clouds. Karen Marie is the cheesemaker, and her son Joe is the cheesemaker too. And they are making the Spontina style highway one that is mind blowing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a European, aged in caves. And if anybody gets to come visit Sonoma County when we're allowed, get a good wine, and then go stop by Valley Ford. They're open today for the first day ever. Because they opened up March 15th.
Wow.
And then you know what happened the next 2 days.
Yes, March 15th last year, not good, you guys.
So today's our first day open for seating.
Oh my gosh, how fun
Guess
is that?
where I'm going?
I think you're coming over to our area over in Petaluma.
I am.
/ Valley Ford. So from here we would go directly due west back there. And it's great. It's cowland. It's cowland and goatland. I mean, it's what it is. There's llamas too. Don't forget that.
Yep.
We don't milk the llamas though.
Not here.
Not here.
Maybe the Sherpas.
Yeah.
But
speaking of which, I just pointed at something right here. Tell us a little bit about this little fabulous knife.
That knife was given to me. Igvella gave me 2 of his knives when he retired.
Oh my gosh.
And I decided it was so important to me to frame it because he is who introduced me to the cheese world. He brought me into the cheese. And I framed 2, and I gave one to my friend Gordon at Rainbow Grocery Co-op.
Yep.
Because Igvella never judged people. And Gordon was a punk rocker.
Yep.
And he was afraid to meet Ig.
Yep.
And Ig didn't judge him for being a punk rocker with tattoos. He treated him just like anybody else.
Wow.
And that's why I felt it was really important to give Gordon the other knife.
Here.
To punk rock, right?
To punk rock, Igvella, you, me, and wonderful food and wine pairings. Thank you once again for being on the show. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Varietal Show once again. I really look forward to seeing you next time. But don't forget, the Epicurean Connection. This is the woman.
We're open as of today.
And she brings it every single time I'm around her, and I love
We're doing it again.
Let's do it again soon. Cheerios.
Cheerios.
Cheers.